Welcome to our channel, where we explore intriguing conspiracy theories that will leave you questioning everything. Today, we delve the conspiracy theories claiming that the moon landing was a hoax are unfounded and have been repeatedly debunked by scientists, experts, and empirical evidence. Here are some of the main claims of these theories and the reasons they lack validity. Waving flag. Some theories suggest that the American flag on the moon waves as if it were on Earth, which would be impossible in an atmosphere-less environment. However, the waving appearance is due to astronauts placing it on a horizontal pole, and adjusting its position caused the fabric to move. Photographs. It has been argued that photos taken on the moon show strange shadows and inconsistent light angles. These phenomena can be explained by the absence of a significant atmosphere on the moon, resulting in darker shadows and more direct lighting. Missing stars. Some theories point to the apparent absence of stars in lunar photos as evidence of fraud. However, camera exposure and the bright lunar surface made stars difficult to capture in the images. No impact crater. It has been argued that the spacecraft didn't leave a crater on the lunar surface upon landing, suggesting there was no actual descent. In reality, lunar gravity is much lower than Earth's, so the spacecraft would cause a much less pronounced crater than on Earth. Radiation. Some theories claim that radiation in the Van Allen belt, located between Earth and the Moon, would have prevented astronauts from reaching the Moon. However, Apollo missions chose routes that minimized exposure to this radiation, and radiation levels weren't high enough to be lethal during the astronauts' time in the belt. In addition to the mentioned points, it is essential to note that the Apollo missions were followed and monitored by a large number of people worldwide, including scientists, engineers, journalists, and the general public. If there had been any manipulation or large-scale fraud, it is unlikely to have remained a secret for so long, and all involved would have remained silent. Furthermore, the Apollo missions conducted scientific experiments, collected samples of lunar rocks, and made various measurements on the lunar surface. Lunar rocks, brought back to Earth, have been extensively studied by scientists worldwide, providing valuable information about the geology and history of the solar system. NASA and other space agencies have continued to carry out lunar missions and space exploration, with more recent missions such as China's Chang'e mission and NASA's Artemis mission reinforcing the evidence of human presence on the moon. Ultimately, moon landing conspiracy theories lack a solid foundation and are based on misunderstandings, misinterpretations of evidence, and, in some cases, distrust of governmental and scientific institutions. The overwhelming amount of scientific evidence and international collaboration in space exploration supports the reality that astronauts indeed walked on the moon during the Apollo missions. In addition to scientific evidence and international participation, it is crucial to note that multiple Apollo missions were successful, with 6 lunar landings between 1969 and 1972. Each mission had its own crew of astronauts, equipment, and specific objectives. The consistency in the success of these missions reinforces the authenticity of the moon landings. Furthermore, the technologies used during the Apollo missions, such as radio transmitters, were capable of sending signals tracked by monitoring stations worldwide. Any attempt to falsify the moon landing would have required a massive conspiracy, which would have been difficult to keep secret given the number of people and organizations involved. Conspiracy theories often arise due to distrust of institutions and governments. However, it is essential to distinguish between legitimate criticism and unfounded denial of facts backed by solid evidence. In the case of the moon landing, conspiratorial claims have been repeatedly debunked by independent experts and scientific documentation. In addition to what has been mentioned, another crucial piece of evidence supporting the reality of moon landings is the presence of objects and equipment left on the moon by the Apollo missions. These include lunar modules, scientific instruments, flags, footprints, and other elements that have been photographed and monitored from Earth. For example, Images taken by telescopes and modern space probes confirm the existence of Apollo mission sites, showing the remnants of the Apollo missions on the lunar surface. Moreover, various countries and space agencies, including the Soviet Union, have conducted space missions and satellites that have confirmed the authenticity of the Apollo missions by directly observing the landing sites and traces left by the astronauts. It is crucial to recognize that science and space exploration are collaborative and global efforts. The idea that multiple nations and thousands of scientists and professionals worldwide were involved in a massive conspiracy to fake the moon landings is highly improbable and contradicts the spirit of scientific cooperation. In conclusion, moon landing conspiracy theories suggesting that the moon landing was a hoax lack a foundation and have been repeatedly debunked by scientific evidence, independent observations, and logic. Lunar exploration remains a significant milestone in human history, supported by a wide range of evidence and global scientific consensus.